Hi everyone, welcome to Numeriq Learning. So, here we are in part 3 of revising in one shot lines and angles, topic of class 9th. Of course, due to a bit of technical difficulties, I am not able to take the entire video in one shot. Although these are possibly 4 videos, okay, as part 1 to 4, but if you are able to watch the entire playlist which will consist of 4 videos, we will be covering the entire chapter, okay, all the questions, all the theorems and everything which is a part which you should know for your exam from lines and angles. So here in part 3, okay, we will start with a theorem. Okay, so the first theorem that you should know as a part of your lines and angles is that if you have two lines, okay, say these are two lines which are intersecting each other at a specific point. Okay, say for example, this is a line AB and you have another line CD which intersect at O. Okay, then the vertically opposite angles, right? What do you mean by vertically opposite angles? This is vertically opposite angles. Okay, so suppose this is angle 1, this is 2, this is 3 and this is 4. Okay, so whenever you have two lines intersecting each other, then the vertically opposite angles are always equal. So let me write it for you. So if two lines intersect each other, then the vertically opposite angles are always equal. Okay, I'm not going to prove it now, okay, because I will prove all these theorems that are there in this chapter in the next video. But today I'm just going to tell you that suppose if you have your two lines intersecting at a point O, then angle 1 is always equal to angle 2 and angle 3 is equal to angle 4. Okay, so you can use this particular theorem, right, when you are doing your problems. Okay, so you will know why is angle 1 equal to angle 2. You'll have to write within bracket, these are vertically opposite angles. Okay, now let's do a problem. Here is a question. AB and CD are two straight lines intersecting at O. Okay, so this is, say, your point O. If angle BOC is 110 degree, then find all the other angles. This is the question. Okay, now since we know that AB and CD are straight lines, okay, in the previous video we would have also studied about something called a linear pair. That is, the sum of angles in a straight line is always 180 degree. Okay, but before that, since angle BOC is 110, BOC, so which is the vertically opposite angle? This is the vertically opposite angle, right? This is also 110. So angle BOC is equal to angle AOD is equal to 110 degree. Okay, so you have to write within bracket vertically opposite angles. This is the reason. You should always give the reason in the bracket as to why do you say these two angles, on what basis do you say the two angles are equal. So within bracket you should write vertically opposite angles. Now, since you already know that AB is a straight line or CD is a straight line, you can take any one. So let me take AB as a straight line. Okay, so AB is a straight line. And so I can say that angle BOC plus angle AOC is equal to 180 degree. And the reason is they are linear pair of angles, right? So what is BOC? BOC is 110 degree plus angle AOC is equal to 180 degree. Therefore, angle AOC, okay, this angle, this plus this is what I am talking about. 110 plus AOC is equal to 180 degree, right? So AOC is equal to 180 degree minus 110 degree, which is nothing but 70 degree. So if this is 70 degree, this is also 70 degree, correct? Because they are vertically opposite. So you have to write angle AOC is equal to angle BOD is equal to 70 degree. And reason, it's because they are vertically opposite angles. Okay, vertically opposite angles. So you have got all the three angles. So this is a question wherein you apply two things. One is vertically opposite angles and the other one is making use of linear pair of angles. Okay. So this is how you do. So such questions can be expected for 2 marks and you should not take a long time. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. The question is, in the figure, POQ is a straight line. Okay, you are given POQ is a straight line. OA and OB are bisectors of POR and QOR respectively. So in the previous video, in part 2 of the video, we saw about angle bisectors. What are angle bisectors? So suppose you have OB is the bisector of QOR, that means it divides the entire QOR into two equal parts. If you say OA is the angle bisector of POR, which means OA is dividing this POR into two equal parts. So that is what it means when you say it's an angle bisector. You have to show that AOB is a right angle. So you have to prove that this is 90 degree. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. Whenever you are given such questions, okay, make sure you understand the question and let's demarcate it. Okay, so this is equal to this and your OA is the bisector, so POA is equal to AOR. Okay, so these two are equal. Now let us start our solution. So since we are already given that OA and OB are the bisectors of POR and QOR respectively, therefore you can write angle POA equal to angle AOR. Let that be X. Okay, let this be X. And let angle QOB, okay, QOB equal to angle BOR. Let this be equal to Y. Let these two be Y. Okay, you have to prove that angle AOB is equal to right angle, which means it's 90 degree. Okay, now since you already know something in the very first place, that is POQ is a straight line, right? So we know that, okay, since POQ is a straight line, therefore the sum of angles in a straight line is always 180 degree. So you can write, therefore X plus Y is equal to 180 degree, which means your 2x plus 2y is equal to 180 degree. Take 2 common out. So you have x plus y equal to 2 common, x plus y equal to 180 degree. Therefore, your x plus y equal to 180 divided by 2, which is 90 degree. Okay, and what is our angle AOB? AOB, look at AOB, this angle. This is nothing but it's a sum of x and y. Therefore, you can write, therefore, AOB angle is equal to x plus y. It's equal to 90 degree. Hence proved. Hence proved. Okay. So this is a very, very easy question, a very simple question, just that you have to understand why have they given the statement. The reason for giving the statement is you should be able to take the sum as sum of the entire angle in a straight line is 180 degree. The reason why they have given the second line is because you should know that angle bisectors will divide the angle into two equal parts. The angle bisector OB will divide the QOR angle into two equal parts. So let the two equal angles be X, the other two angles be Y, and you just have to go on. So it's a very, very easy problem, but as long as you do such questions, you will become very, very familiar with such questions. So if you are getting somewhat similar questions in the exam, very closer to the ones which we are doing, you will definitely be able to do it. So that's all the question. Therefore, you have proved that angle AOB is a right angle. Okay, let's move on to the next question. In the next question, you are given a figure. Okay, and you are said if x plus y equal to w plus z, prove that AOB is a line. Okay, so let us properly write what is given in the solution. What is given? You are given that x plus y equal to w plus z. Okay, and then you should write to prove. What do you have to prove? You have to prove that AOB is a straight line. Okay, now let's prove. Write the proof. So there are four angles given here, right? XY and WZ around a point O. So we already know that sum of all angles around a point is nothing but 360 degree, right? Which means your x plus y plus z plus w equal to 360 degree. Okay, but you are already given that x plus y is equal to w plus z, right? So instead of x plus y, you can write it as w plus z. Okay, so you will have w plus z plus again z plus w is equal to 360 degree. So 2w plus 2z equal to 360. Take 2 common out. W plus z equal to 360 degree, or you can say w plus z equal to 180 degree. Okay, and where is w plus z? These are, so when w plus z is, they are adjacent angles, right? W and z, if you see here, w and z are adjacent angles, right? Whenever the sum of adjacent angles in a line, okay, sum of adjacent angles is 180 degree, which means AOB is a straight line. Okay, so you can write, therefore, since w and z are adjacent angles equal to 180 degree, therefore your AOB is a straight line. Okay, hence proved. So this is how you have to do questions. Okay, so again, a very easy question to do. So if you are able to prove that any two adjacent angles, the sum is equal to 180, which means that line is a straight line. The line where these two adjacent angles are, that line is a straight line. Okay, because the sum of the adjacent angle is equal to 180 degree. Right? Okay. Let's move on to the next question. So in the next question, you are given in the figure two straight lines PQ and RS intersect each other at O. Okay. So you are given PQ and RS intersect each other at O. Okay. So whenever two lines intersect each other, what should be one of the things that you immediately remember, that vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay. Whenever two lines intersect each other, always remember this property or concept, that vertically opposite angles are always equal. Okay. So if POT, okay, one angle is given. See, POT is 75 degree. Find the values of A, B and C. Okay. So let's write what is given. Okay. Given, things which are given are PQ and your RS are straight lines. Okay. Straight lines. Just write whatever is given. And angle POT is nothing but your 75 degree. Okay. What you have to find? You have to find, Lena, you have to find the values of A, B and C. Right? Okay. Now, since we know that your PQ is a straight line, okay, what is the sum of 4B plus 2C? It is 180 degree. Similar way, since we already know PQ is a straight line, A plus B plus 75 is equal to 180 degree. Right? So, or else you can write 4B plus 75 plus B. Either ways, you are going to get an answer. So, let me write that since PQ is a straight line, okay, therefore 4B plus 2C is equal to 180 degree, and I also can say that 75 degree, these three, right, 75 plus A plus B is equal to 180 degree. 75 plus B plus A equal to 180 degree. Right? Now, you know that they intersect each other. Right? Since you are already given that PQ and RS intersect each other at O, you can say that the vertically opposite angles are equal. So, 2C is equal to 75 plus B and 4B is equal to A. Okay, so let's write that. Since PQ and RS intersect each other, therefore 2C is equal to 75 degree plus B. Reason, vertically opposite angles are equal. And the next part is 4B is equal to A. Right? The same reason, vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay. Now how will you solve it? Now almost you have come to the point wherein you have to solve for A, B and C. Right? So here if you see 2C is nothing but 75 plus B. Right? So let's replace 2C with 75 plus B. So here let me write this as equation 1. This is 2. This is 3. And this is 4. Okay. Substituting 3 in 1. What do you get? You will get 4B plus, instead of 2C, I will write 75 plus B is equal to 180 degree. So you have 5B plus 75 equal to 180. which means 5b equal to 180 minus 75. So you have 105, or you have b is equal to, okay, b is equal to 105 divided by 5. So 5 2s are 10, 5 1s are 5. B is equal to, therefore, your B is equal to 21 degree. B is equal to just the value, right? We don't know if B exactly is the angle. Yeah, B is an angle. So B equal to 21 degree. Okay. Next, what is A? A is equal to, from equation 4, right? You know B, so you can calculate A also. So now write from 4, equation 4, we can say that A is equal to 4B, which is nothing but 4 multiplied by 21. What is 21 into 4? 4 ones are 4 and 4 twos are 8. So A is equal to 84. The value of A is nothing but your 84. Okay. Now let us calculate C. What is C here? So if you know from equation 3, 2C equal to 75 plus B, right? So let me write from 3, I can say from equation 3, 2C equal to 75 degree plus B. And what is B here? 75 plus B is 21, right? So 2C equal to 96. C is equal to 96 divided by 2. So which is 2 4s are 8. Balance 1, 2 8s are 16. So C is equal to 48 degree. I'm just writing degree because whatever we are currently doing is a part of the element. Or you can just, because you have another element attached, so you probably can remove this degree and just write the values of A, B and C. Okay, so this is how you have to do it. It's a very easy question as well. The only thing that we did was, since it's given it's a straight line, the sum of all angles in a straight line is 180 degree. That is one important thing that we used here, okay, to make sure that 4b plus 2c is 180, 75 plus b plus a is 180. And then that was one thing, right? Here the sum of angles in a straight line. The next thing is, they are given PQ and RS intersect each other at O. So vertically opposite angles are equal. 2C is equal to 75 plus B, and then 4B is equal to A. So that's what we wrote here, vertically opposite angles. And then you'll have to think and do, right? 4B plus 2C. So you already know 2C in terms of B. Substitute 2C here. Solve for B. Once you get B, again make use of the equation wherein you are getting A from B. Substitute the value of B, multiply it with 4, you get A. Okay, and then what was the last thing? Once you get A and B, then you can go ahead and use the first equation, right? You know B, you can calculate C. So it's a very, very easy question. Again, all the three values have been known. This particular question can probably asked for 3 marks or 4 marks. Okay, if you're lucky, it will come for 4 marks. So the calculation, you have to be very careful when you're subtracting, when you're dividing. These places you should not miss it. Okay, these are the places wherein mistakes might happen when you're multiplying it, when you're dividing here, right? So you should not make a mistake in these steps. Otherwise, it's a very good 3 or 4 mark question. Okay, so do try this question and you can mark it as important. Okay, mark it as important. Let's move on and do the next question. Yeah, here. Let's see what the question says. In the figure, lines XY and MN. So you have your XY and your MN intersect each other at O. If POY is 90 degree and A is to B, the ratio is 2 is to 3, find C. Okay. So again, we don't know what is the exact angle of A, what is the exact value of B. So first of all, let us assume that let A be 2x and B be 3x. Okay. So x gets cancelled. A is to B is nothing but 2 is to 3. And x can be anything. X can be 1, 2, 3, 4, anything. Right. You are given xy is a straight line. You are given that xy is a line. So whenever you are given a line, what is the sum of the angles in a straight line? This is nothing but your 180 degrees. So you can write therefore B plus A plus your 90 degree is equal to 180 degree. Okay, which means B plus A is equal to 180 minus 90, which is 90 degree. What is B? 3x. What is A? 2x equal to 90. So you have your 5x equal to 90 and x is equal to 90 divided by 5. So you have 5 ones are 5, remaining 4 eights are 14. Okay, so x is equal to 18. Okay. Now, if you know x is equal to 18, okay, but you don't have to find what is A and B. Let us, you have to find C, right? Now, MN is also a straight line, right? You're also given MN, X lines, XY and MN. MN is also a straight line. So what is this sum? B plus C is equal to 180 degree. Okay, so let's write since MN is a line, therefore you have your B plus C is equal to 180 degree. And what is B? B is nothing but your 3x plus C is equal to 180 degree, right? Now once you've calculated x, let's find out what is A. A is nothing but 2 into 18, which is nothing but your 36. The value of B is nothing but 3 into 18. So 24, 54. Okay, so your A is 36, B is 54. Okay, or you can directly write or substitute here. So what is your B? B is nothing but your 54. So C is nothing but 180 minus 54. Just calculate it. So you have 126 is your answer. Okay, make sure you are, once you have got your x, okay, please make sure you find the value of A and B. Okay, so let me just put this here so that all of you know that. Okay, so once you get x, once you find x, okay, make sure just substitute the value of x in A. 2 into 18, find out A is 36, substitute x in B, find out B, and then go on, right? B plus C equal to 180. We already know B is 54, therefore C is nothing but 180 minus 54. Okay, so this is how you do it. This is the last topic of today's video, but we still have theorems left and some more problems left, which I will take in the next video. But before we wind up, this is one very important topic, and I hope you understood the previous question. Okay, it was a very simple question, so please pause the video and do make a note of it. Okay, the last topic of today is parallel lines and transversal. What do you mean by parallel lines? Whenever you have two lines that never meet each other, right? So, and they never intersect each other. So you have, suppose you have your one line is L, the other line is M, and these two lines will never intersect, right? These two lines will never intersect. So they are called as parallel lines. Parallel lines. Okay. Now, if you have another line which intersects the parallel lines, say for example like this, right? So a line which intersects two or more lines, right? That line is called a transversal. So this is what is called a This line is called a transversal, the line that intersects, transversal line. Okay, this is the transversal. So parallel lines will never meet. Okay, they would just go on, they'll never intersect, or they will never meet. So those are parallel, and the line which intersects two or more given lines at distinct points, right? This is one point, this is another point. There could be more than two lines that the transversal could intersect. Okay. Now in this, okay, now let me draw some random lines. Okay, so this is one line and this is another line. Okay, and I have got a transversal. Okay, these are lines which are not parallel to each other. Okay, as you can see from the figure. So you have your L and M, and this is your transversal. Okay, so this is your transversal. Clear? Now let me mark the angles, right? The angles, say let this be angle 1, let this be 2, 3 and 4. Again you have your 5, angle 6, angle 7 and angle 8. Okay, in this case here L is not parallel to M. L is not parallel to your M in our scenario right now. Okay, here we have to know certain terms. The very first term is called a corresponding angle. Corresponding angles. Which two angles are corresponding angles? This is the first term that you should know. The corresponding angles in this case will be angle 2 and angle 6, angle 1 and 5, angle 4 and 8, 3 and 7. These are corresponding angles which are corresponding to each other. Okay, so let us write it. So corresponding angles are nothing but angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles. Angle 1, what is the corresponding angle for angle 1? It's angle 5. And then angle 3, what is the corresponding angle to angle 3? It's angle 7. And the last one is angle 4. Write the corresponding angle for angle 4 means you will write angle 8. So these are corresponding angles, which is the first term that you should remember. Which you have to be able to correctly identify corresponding angles. Okay. The next that you should know is nothing but what do you mean by alternate interior angles? Okay, alternate interior angles. Interior angles. Which are the angles which are alternate interior angles? If you take okay, angle 4, right? Angle 4, the alternate, so when you have a transversal, okay, so these are, let me draw it again. Okay, so suppose you have two lines and you have a transversal. Okay, so if you take, these are alternate interior angles. Okay, these are alternate interior angles, correct? Alternate interior angles. So if you have this angle, the alternate is this alternate interior. Okay, so from our figure, can you suggest which are the alternate interior angle for angle 4, angle 6, right? Angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior. So these essentially, these four angles, right? 4, 3, 5, 6, these are called as interior angles. Okay, this 1, 2, they are external to it. These are called as external angles. Is it clear? Okay, so before we write, let me write what are interior angles. Just interior angles alone. Interior angles. Which are the interior angles? 4, angle 4 and angle 3, and angle 5 and angle 6. These are just interior angles. Okay. And alternate interior angles means alternatively. 4's alternate is 6. 3's alternate interior is 5. Okay. So angle 4 and 6 and angle 3 and 5 are alternate interior angles. Okay. This is something which you should remember. And the next one is nothing but what do you mean by consecutive interior angle or co-interior angle? So if you take angle 4, right, which is the consecutive interior angle 5. Okay, so 4 and 5 are called as co-interior angle or consecutive interior angle. So for 3, 3 and 6, these are interior angles on the same side of the transversal, right? 3 and 6 are on the same side of the transversal and they are interior angles. So these are called as consecutive interior or co-interior angles. The two angles which are on the same side of the transversal are called as consecutive interior or co-interior angles. Okay, so let me write that. These are called consecutive interior or co-interior angles. Co-interior angles. Co-interior angles. Can you again see the figure and tell me? So 4 and 5, 3 and 6. Okay. So angle 4 and 5, 3 and 6. These are co-interior angles. Okay. So let me write it here. Angle 4 and angle 5 and angle 3 and 6. These are called as co-interior angles. Okay. Now along with writing the interior angle, let me also write what are the exterior angles here. Exterior angles. Can you tell me now which are the 4 angles which are exterior angles? Angle 1 and 2 are exterior, angle 8 and 7 are exterior. Okay. So angle, what are they? 1 and 2, 8 and 7. Angle 1 and angle 2 and angle 8 and angle 7 are exterior angles. Okay. Now comes the next part, which is alternate exterior angle. So if you take alternate exterior, one alternate exterior is 7. Okay. So 1 and 7 are alternate exterior. Same way you have your 2 and 8 are also alternate exterior angles. Okay. So let's make a note of that as well. Alternate exterior angle. Okay. So let me write here alternate exterior angles. Okay. So let's look at the figure once again. Alternate exterior angle. So 1 and 7. Right. So angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exterior. And the next one is angle 2 and 8 are alternate exterior. Okay. So angle 2 and angle 8 are also alternate exterior angles. So look at the amount of terms that you have to remember, right? So one is corresponding angles. Let me repeat it. So you have, what are corresponding angles? 2, 6, 3, 7, 4 and 8, 1 and 5. These are corresponding angles. 4, 3, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. These are interior angles. Okay. 4 and 6 are alternate interior. 3 and 5 are alternate interior. Right. So 3 things we have covered. Right. One is corresponding angle. Next one is interior angle. And then it's alternate interior angle. Right. Now 4 and 5 are co-interior angle. The two angles which are on the same side of the transversal. These are called as consecutive interior or co-interior angle. So 3 and 6 are also co-interior angles. Okay. And then 1, 2, 8, 7 are exterior angle. And then comes alternate exterior. 1, 7, 2, 8. These are alternate exterior angles. So these are things which, these are terms, that is corresponding angles, interior angles, exterior angle, alternate interior angle, co-interior angle and alternate exterior angles. So these are the angles that you people, all of you should know. Okay. Now, why initially, if you remember, I mentioned something, that is L is not parallel to M. Okay. Suppose L is parallel to M. Okay. So let me draw quickly here. Suppose I have my L and M are two parallel lines and I have a transversal here. Okay. So here I have got my L and M which are parallel to each other. Okay. And let me draw these angles again. 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay. Now understand the fact that if I have, okay, so these are the arrows that go here. Okay. Suppose if, only if, okay, only if L is parallel to M, only if L is parallel to M, then the corresponding angles are equal. The very first part is your corresponding angles are equal. Now, as I told you, how will you find out which are your corresponding angles? Your 2 and 6, 1 and 5, right? So, 1, 5. These are corresponding angles, okay? So, angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Then, angle 2 is equal to angle 6. Angle 4 is equal to angle 8. And then, angle 3 is equal to angle 7. 3 is equal to angle 7. Okay, this is only applicable if L is parallel to M. Okay. And then alternate interior are also equal. So let me write that. Alternate interior angles. Interior angles are also equal. So what are the alternate interior angles here in our picture? Alternate interior. So angle 4 equal to angle 6. And then you have your angle 3 is equal to angle 5. Okay. Alternate exterior are also equal. So alternate exterior angles. So what are the alternate exterior angle? Angle 1 equal to angle 7 and then angle 2 equal to angle 8. These are equal. Okay. And then the last one. The sum of the co-interior angle is 180. Okay. The co-interior angles sum is equal to 180. Now you know what are co-interior angles, right? Angle 4 plus 5 is equal to 180 degree and then angle 3 plus angle 6 is equal to 180 degree. Okay, so these are some things which you should remember. Okay, whenever you have two lines if you have two lines parallel to each other and if you have a transversal, corresponding angles are equal, alternate interior angles are equal, alternate exterior angles are equal, and then the sum of co-interior angle is nothing but your 180 degree. So we have to prove it, but for now let's understand so much. Okay, in the next video we will discuss each theorem in detail and we can prove it. Okay, so I hope you understood. Let me pause here and let's continue in the next video. So in today's video we solved a lot of questions related to when two lines intersect each other, you have vertically opposite angles that are equal. We saw about the sum of angles in a straight line is 180 degree and we solved some problems there as well, right? And then we saw about when you have two lines that are not parallel to each other, then what are if you have to identify corresponding angles, if you have to identify interior angles, if you have to identify alternate interior angles, co-interior angles, exterior angles, alternate exterior angles, what are they? And if you have two parallel lines, then you should remember these things. That is, your corresponding angles are equal, your alternate interior angles are equal, your alternate exterior angles are equal, the sum of co-interior angle is always 180 degree. Okay, so I hope you understood, and this video, if it was helpful for you and if you learned something new today and if you got some clarity, please do share your feedback in the comments. I'll be more than happy to see them, and let us continue in the next video. So the next video will all be about the theorems that you have to learn along with the proof and some few questions if possible. Then the last video will be the fourth part. So this is the third. Do watch my first and the second part of lines and angles. Please do share it with your friends and do subscribe, and meet you all in the next video. Thank you.